What's going on, Jerome's? Taking a look at another mock draft and giving our reaction to their reaction to your reaction to everyone's reaction, right? So take a look at a Bleacher Report. Brent Sobleski, his first round mock draft. Respect his work. And a couple of curveballs. Couple of interesting takes. Let's dive right in. So up at the top, not really much changes at the top. I mean, I feel like every single draft is 1, 2, 3 going to be good to go. So you got the Jets, Trevor Lawrence, no brainer, been the first overall pick for the last 3 years. Man. So the Jaguars at 2. So you do like that you will have your selection of all the available quarterbacks. So Justin Fields, I think Zach Wilson playing at Coastal Carolina, playing on the road on 2 days' notice. BYU, what up? What up? Taking out a ranked opponent on national television, I think that will certainly help. But I think that maybe not put it in Penn, but pencil in Justin Fields right now. I think he has too many physical tools. Plus, he did go to high school in Georgia, and also he started his career at the University of Georgia. So I think that could be an immediate draw there in northeastern Florida. So I think that Fields, with that young roster, you have multiple first-round picks, you have multiple second-round picks as well. You're welcome, by the way, for Yannick the Freak. I think that makes a lot of sense for the Jaguars. 3, Bengals, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, Penny Sewell, no matter what. Protect the Burrow. Do that. The best offensive line prospect since Anthony Munoz goes to the team that Munoz played for a decade plus. So, number 4, Cowboys. They definitely need some help in the secondary. You could say maybe offensive line, maybe freshen that thing up, although they will get Smith, they will get Lau, they will get Zach Martin back. But yeah, that secondary is less ideal. And then also you do have Trevon Diggs, who missed the Vikings game, unfortunately. Not that they really needed him, but pairing up Bama and Bama, you have 2 nice cornerstones in that secondary to build on going forward. 5. So, Chargers taking Kwity Paye, the pride of Michigan, getting on. Where Kwity Paye is a problem, man. So he gets a pressure on 19% of his pass rush snaps, which is just unbelievable. Plus, I like defensive ends. So it's really getting in vogue. You have these smaller defensive ends. You look at Brian Burns, who he's listed at 250, baloney, 235, but Kwity Paye is every single ounce of 275 pounds. Like, he gets after it, man. Stout against the run. I think that in certain packages, you can even kick him inside. I think that he brings a lot of versatility. But just as a rock-solid, great all-around edge rusher, I think that Kwity Paye is just phenomenal. For me, he's the number 1 edge on the board, even though we'll get into Gregory Rousseau here in a second. But also, I think Ingram is, I think he'll leave in free agency. He turns 32 years young. So you got Kwity Paye on one side, you got Joey Bosa on the other. Let's go Chargers. Come on. Next up, 6. So the Eagles, they're just haunted, man. They are just haunted by the ghost of Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf. But hey, I still believe in Jalen Reagor. But also I think J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, maybe not so much. Yeah, I think that one's over. Yeah, the daughter agrees too. She doesn't like J-Jaw. And the Eagles, I don't know if Doug Peterson's going to be around, man. I don't know if Howie Roseman's going to be around, but someone's going to make this pick and taking a wide receiver, the best one in the draft, Jamar Chase. Yeah, hopefully they won't screw this one up. Well, actually, I hope they do, but 7. Dun, dun, dun. Panthers, our guy, Zach Wilson. Now, it might be regional bias since Zach Wilson's going to go out and put the bank thing on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers on Saturday. But Zach Wilson, baby, getting their quarterback of the future. Hey, Teddy. Thanks for coming out. But Matt Rule and Joe Brady get their quarterback of the future. I think Wilson would be a ton of fun in Carolina, just zipping that ball all over the place. I think they'll fit in very nicely in the NFC South. And next. 8, Washington football team. Hey, Scotty Turner. Don't you dare ruin Trey Lance, the pride of Marshall, Minnesota. But getting a true blue dynamic threat in Washington. Now, the lazy scout would be like, yeah, well, what about RG3? And now, Trey Lance is a far more polished passer than RG3 was coming out of Baylor, but just that dynamic athletic ability just blew everyone away. I think Lance isn't quite the athlete as RG3, but also he's certainly damn good enough. He is certainly damn well an elite athlete. And also, I think there's a lot that you can build upon. And also, if Alex Smith is good to go for a year, maybe 2, I think that would do Trey Lance some good, getting up to speed in the NFL game, making that leap from FCS to the NFL, as well as having a complete year off this year, minus that one really random game against like Arkansas Tech or whatever. Next up, number 9. So Micah Parsons, this is what's frustrating about picks like 7, 8, 9, 10, is that there will always be some shenanigans in the top and great players will fall. So Micah Parsons just goes to Detroit. Whoever the new GM is going to be. They get their new Chris Spielman. They get their brand new leader in the middle of that defense. He is the true modern NFL linebacker. He really does remind me a bit of Eric Kendricks, where he's a dynamic tackler and phenomenal in coverage as well. Just a really damn solid pick for the stupid Lions. Number 10. So the Falcons picking up Caleb Farley. Now, you could say maybe they would have reached for quarterback here. I don't really see that. I think at the top of the second round, a handful of quarterbacks will go. Also, you could have said, go edge rusher. Could have been Gregory Rousseau in this spot, even though they swung and missed on Beasley and Tack McKinley. They just can't find consistent edge threat in Atlanta. But getting Caleb Farley, the best press man cornerback in the draft, going to be great in the NFC South. Plus, you're pairing him up with A.J. Terrell, who's a first-round pick out of Clemson last year. Makes a ton of sense for the new regime in Atlanta. 11, Dolphins. All right, so this is a pick from Houston that keeps getting worse because Deshaun is heating up, but man, this is the perfect pick. Keeping Kyle Pitts in the state of Florida, and man, just a dynamic red zone threat. And I know Mike Gesicki's really stepping up this year, and Gesicki's not really about that blocking life either. I think they're both of them are much more like the F/Joker tight ends, but yeah, just getting more weapons on that offense for Tua for the future. It's just great, man. I love it. Next up, number 12. So Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah coming out of Notre Dame to Denver. This one makes a ton of sense as well, especially if you have to deal with Justin Herbert and friggin' Patrick Mahomes in this division. You need linebackers who can cover, and J.O.K. Joke definitely is that modern-day NFL linebacker. And him in Vic Fangio's defense, I think, is going to do phenomenal things. Next up. So you got 13, Jaylen Waddle and Sylvie coming on into Chicago, and they need something, man. So they're probably going to lose Robinson in free agency, and for that we thank you. But yeah, Anthony Miller's not working out. They need to get something going, and Waddle is an absolute problem in the slot as well as a returner. So I think that's a nice little pickup for whoever the hell the quarterback is going to be for the Bears. Next up, so they got the Vikings. I don't want to look. Dun, dun, dun. Vikings number 14 taking Gregory Rousseau, the edge from Miami. Now, he opted out this year, but yeah, the physical tools are absolutely there. He's 6'7", he's 265. He is just jacked up. He had 15 and a half sacks as a sophomore 2 seasons ago. And high ceiling, you do worry, does he have enough bend to get around the edge consistently in the NFL? Because he's not really going to be about that bull rush life. And I do trust Andre Patterson, but also it hasn't really been in the Vikings' DNA of taking a edge rusher in the first or second rounds. So they don't take him high. They take him in the mid rounds. Neal was a 3rd-round pick. You look at Kwity was a 7th-round pick. You look at Everson and B-Rob 4th-round pick. So it would be out of character. And also, it is surprising with all the offensive line talent on the board, but also maybe the Vikings see this as a spot. Hey, this is a deep offensive line class. We'll grab someone in the 3rd round. Maybe we'll trade up in the 2nd round, sure. But Rousseau, I'm still sort of lukewarm on him. Like, his peak tape is damn good, and he looks like friggin' Charles Haley out there. But also, there's a lot of bad tape out there, too. And you do wonder if... I'm worried, man. I would be worried. But anyways... 15. And also, so you're taking Rousseau here, and like we said, there's so much offensive line talent still on the board, man. So you got Wyatt Davis, the best guard prospect out there, just chilling. You got Vera-Tucker out there as well. You got Eichenberg. You got Cosme. You got Slater. You got Darrisaw. I mean, so the Vikings have to be really sold. They have to be really sold because it does feel like this offensive line is just one piece away. Next up, so I got the Patriots. Now, could they reach for a quarterback here? Maybe, maybe not. Also, they could have picked up some offensive line help since they're probably going to lose Joe Thuney in free agency. But Azeez Ojulari from Georgia. Now, he's a redshirt sophomore, so super young, relatively raw. But I do like him, and he can play some linebacker as well as some true edge rusher as well. But him paired up with Chase Winovich, who's really starting to feel his oats a little bit. That's a nice little pairing going forward for the Belichick rebuilt defense. 16. So the Niners taking Jaycee Horn, a long physical cornerback, and yeah, he's this is definitely a DK Metcalf pick. This is definitely a Nuke Hopkins now in your division pick. So eventually he's going to be the successor to Richard Sherman, pair up opposite of him for a while at that right cornerback spot for the Niners. And yeah, I think that's a solid overall pick. You could say, can they maybe reach for a quarterback here? Yeah, I mean, Shanahan is really sold on Nick Mullins. He just really is. So I don't know. 17. So you got the Raiders drafting yet another edge, just taking another shot on an edge rusher. So Joseph Ossai coming out of Texas, where he is this long, raw, physical prospect, only been playing football for a couple of years, but you're absolutely just betting on the upside. Like, could he be Ziggy Ansah eventually someday? Could he be Jason Pierre-Paul someday? It's extremely possible, right? But also, I mean, you see them. So they claimed Tack and Beasley after they were let go by their respective teams. So they're just flailing. Like, they're just looking for something because Max Crosby is legit. Clelin Ferrell, number 4 overall pick. Yikes. Not really working out so much, but they're taking another swing at that edge rush spot because, especially in your division, like we said, with Herbert as well as Mahomes, probably not Drew Lock. Face. They do need someone who can consistently get a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. 18. So you got the Ravens, DeVonta Smith. Can Lamar Jackson please just have weapons? Because Hollywood Brown is so hot and cold, and he is capable of having those extremely high-end plays, like at the end of the Steelers game, but he just can't do it consistently. But bringing in DeVonta Smith, who I think was overlooked and underbooked when it comes in the pantheon of all those other great Bama receivers. You look at Ruggs, you look at Judy, you look at Waddle on his own team this year as well. But yeah, DeVonta Smith is damn good. And also, he had a 3 touchdown game a couple weeks ago. I think that the Ravens here getting a nice little receiver for Lamar Jackson long term. Next up. So speaking of overlooked receivers, so the Giants getting Terrace Marshall Jr. coming out of LSU. Now, a guy who's consistently got overshadowed by Justin Jefferson, a guy who got overshadowed by Jamar Chase. I mean, he's no slouch either. He's 6'3", he's 200. Dana needs a tall receiver. He's got size. He's a deep threat as well. Great body control. And I think that he'll hold up well to the swirling winds out in the Meadowlands. And it's funny that the Giants, they went from like a top 5 pick, and now they're leading the division, so now they're at 19. And as stupid as the playoff seeding is, you know that the winner of the NFC East, who's going to host a playoff game, you know they're going to win a playoff game. You know this, baby. Next up, 20, Arizona. So addressing the offensive line, I need a little bit of protection in front of Kyler, picking up Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. Now, I know that the NFL size snobs, Slater's got shortish arms, plus he's only 6'3", although you really do like him as an athletic prospect at tackle, but I think that, you see him in the pick here, just locked up with Chase Young. What up? But also can probably kick inside, a little bit undersized, though, but a super intriguing prospect. And also, Daniel Jeremiah has Slater rated above Penny Sewell. Yeah, the greatest tackle prospect in NFL history, and I forget his name. But yeah, so that's noteworthy since DJ obviously puts in the work and has been there, done that, guy on the T-shirt. So, but yeah, the Cardinals picking up some offensive line pieces makes a lot of sense. And also, free Josh Jones, pride of Houston. Come on, baby, one time. Next up, 21. So this is a direct result of the Chiefs and Tyreek Hill just put the bang thing on him. So Shaun Wade, who probably could and should have declared last year, and I think would have been drafted ahead of his teammate Damon Arnett, who was a first-round pick by the Raiders. But Shaun Wade, versatile, can play inside and outside, is a ball hawk as well. Nice little pickup there for the Bucs. Pair him up with Sean Murphy-Bunting, the pride of Central Michigan, and you're off to the races. Next up, 22. So the Dolphins, so they already got Kyle Pitts. It's sort of luxury picks at this point because when you have your quarterback of the future, just sort of, we'll take that. We'll take some of that. So they pick up Zaven Collins, the linebacker out of Tulsa, where guy with absolute he's an absolute tackling machine plus great closing speed as well. Think of a larger Zach Thomas. Coming out of a conference and a school that isn't necessarily known for great linebackers, but he is racking up the tackles and making a real impression this year. Next up, 23. So the Colts going offensive line. Now, could this be a spot where Mac Jones, could this be a spot where Kyle Trask goes? I could see it. Or are they really sold on Jacob Eason? I don't know if you would be, but pick up Christian Terrace coming out of Virginia Tech. Anthony Costanzo can't play forever, even though the Colts offensive line is pretty damn solid and racked full of high-end draft picks. But I don't know where Terrace is going to play early on. Do you kick him into guard? I don't know if he necessarily has the anchor to do that, but also something about Cleaver. And also that right tackle spot, Braden Smith is holding it down. Does Braden Smith kick into guard because he played guard at Auburn before they made him a tackle? So I don't know. I don't know. I question this pick. I love Darrisaw. I just don't really see this fit with the Colts right away. Anyways, next up, 24. So I got the Cleveland Browns. They've been looking for someone opposite of Denzel Ward. Now, could it be Greedy Williams if he's actually healthy? Maybe. But Darian Kendrick coming out of Clemson, where, Kendrick's super interesting is that he's young, he's an underclassman, but also he's a recent convert to cornerback. So there's a lot of raw material to work with. And Kevin Stefanski and company looking to freshen up that secondary just a little bit. Next up, 25. So we got the Jaguars. Ooh. So you got Tevin Jenkins coming out of Oklahoma State. So you already got Justin Fields. You bought the house, and now you need the insurance. Now, Jacksonville's interesting a tackle because Cam Robinson, Bama, former high-end second-round pick, is okay, but also he's going to have to get paid here pretty damn soon. Also, at right tackle, they got Jawan Taylor, who a couple years ago was projected as a high-end pick, ended up being a second-rounder, and has been not great. Not ideal. So you may be in the market for a tackle. And Tevin Jenkins, where you think Big 12, you think air raid, you think spread offenses, and you always question the tackles a little bit. But Jenkins is a dude. He's an absolute dude. 6'6", 320, just really gets after it. I think that he could step on an NFL field right away and either replace Cam at left tackle, replace Jawan, maybe kick him inside. But after you got Fields, get him a little bit of protection because they have some decent weapons at Jacksonville, man. Yep. Next up, 26, Rashad Bateman. So this is a pick from Seattle in the Jamal Adams trade, but Bateman ends up with the Jets, where you could say like this is a bad spot for him, but now we got Trevor Lawrence, and also you got a decent running mate in Denzel Mims. I think it's a great spot for him. Plus Bateman likes him. The spotlight. I think him in New York would be a nice fit as well. So no complaints about that. Good luck, number 13 / number 0 out in New York. 27. So the Titans picking up Asante Samuel Jr., the second of two legacy cornerbacks, Patrick Surtain, the second being the first one. And it was funny. So Asante Samuel and Mike Vrabel were actually teammates back in the day with the Patriots. But you have Adoree Jackson, you have Christian Fulton, and now you add Asante Samuel. That's a nice 3 deep of young cornerbacks there because I don't think they re-signed Desmond King even though they trade for him. They're probably going to cut Malcolm Butler since he's making a bajillion dollars, and it's certainly not worth that anymore. But at this point, just getting younger and fresher in the secondary makes a ton of sense. 28. So the Bills, this one hurts. So Elijah Vera-Tucker, he goes here. Now, he can play guard, he can play tackle, he can do whatever. Protect Josh Allen and freshen things up on that Bills offensive line. And this is a guy who's built for Buffalo, by the way. Like, I understand he's out at USC, but Vera-Tucker is definitely like a cold weather throwback slobber knocker offensive lineman. I really, really like him. And also, it's nice to see a 75 USC player actually pan out. Next up, 29. So this one pisses me off. So Packers pick up Rondale Moore, who absolute do-it-all joystick player, missed most of 2019. You really have to go back to 2018. Well, you don't have to because his first game this year was against the Gophers 2020 a couple weeks ago, and he's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Imagine Randall Cobb if Randall Cobb was actually good, and then you have Rondale Moore. So this one is annoying. This one's going to be a pain in the ass for the NFC North for many, many years. 30. So, come on, man. You're the freaking Chiefs. You have potentially the greatest quarterback in NFL history on an extremely team-friendly deal, and then you just get the best offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman just fall in your lap, all the respect to Vera-Tucker. Great. Cool. So the Chiefs have had problems at guard. They've been starting Mike Remmers at guard, so I understand, but come on, man. Come on. 31. Saints pick up Nick Bolton coming out of Mizzou, just another legit tackling machine. And they've been looking for someone ever since the jettison Manti Te'o to opposite of Demario Davis. But Bolton come in, fills in nicely. I don't think that they are going to resign Quan Alexander, so it is what it is there. 32, first running back off the board, so the Steelers pick up Najee Harris, not Travis Etienne. Ooh, but Harris, I mean, Harris has that size. He's a bit of a throwback. Like, he'll remind me of Franco Harris, man. So, yeah, he's almost like fullback adjacent, but 230 pounds, great between the tackles. He's not Derrick Henry power-wise, but also I think he's a better receiver than Derrick Henry as well. I think he could be a true three-down threat in Pittsburgh. Benny Snell's looking good. James Conner, I don't know, man. He's always just can't stay on the field, Ben. Yeah, so just inconsistent there. But Najee Harris put in the bank thing. Now, could you see quarterback here? I could legit see quarterback here. Could you see Kyle Trask in black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow? I think I could. Like his arm in those wins, I think that would make a ton of sense. But yeah, also Najee Harris here, just give him 32. Yeah, Najee's Italian army. Let's go. But that's it. That's a review of Bleacher Report's first round mock draft. Vikings going Gregory Rousseau in the first round. I get it, but also this sort of reminds me of last year when everyone and their mom had Epinesa or Gross Matos just mocked to the Vikings. I think they might go a different direction because it would be breaking from tendency for the Vikings to go edge early on in the first round. And also, I think that they are high on DJ Wanham. I think they still believe in Ifeadi Odenigbo, and Danielle Hunter could and should be back at 100% next year. So is what it is there. But your thoughts on our thoughts on their thoughts, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.